Wheelman, written and directed by Jeremy Rush and it stars Frank Grillo as Wheelman, is classified as a action thriller. Now the whole movie takes place in one single night. We start off with a fixed camera angle from the back seat inside of a car, which is the getaway car, and a mechanic comes in to drive the car out to give him to Wheelman, Frank Grillo's character. Now, off the bat, Frank Grillo's character, Wheelman, notices that the trunk is red on a black car. Now, who's not gonna be able to find a black car with a red trunk? So automatically he knows this night is already starting off bad. He asks who paid for that, who ordered that. He says it was the mechanic says it was the regular guy that ordered it. He just thought that was a little bit off, which pretty much everything from the get is sideways in this movie. So from there, we go to the first heist. But he has to pick up the two people first for the heist. When he picks them up, they're not the usual people he's used to dealing with. But then again, he never gets to know anyone he picks up because he prefers never to talk to them, never to know them, which is smart. So that way, you don't interact. Somebody asks you any questions, you can easily say, I don't know them. I didn't see their face. He mostly likes to look forward. He doesn't like to look in the rearview mirror whenever somebody in the back is trying to talk to him. So they're on their way to the heist. And when they get there, the guys go in. But one of them is being very stupid with Wheelman. Like, he's trying to get to know him. And Wheelman is thinking like, oh, are you a cop? Like, why do you want to know anything about me? That raises the level of fear on what's going on because none of the people that he's driven around before has ever asked him his name. They never asked him anything. They never even spoke. Probably unless it has anything to do with the job itself, they never spoke. So now, while the two guys go into the bank and are pretty much taking care of business inside, Wheelman gets an unexpected call from an out-of-range number. And this person on the out-of-range number tells him, leave the guys behind or they're going to kill you. Let them put the money in the trunk first, then drive off without them. And he's like, no, I'm not going to drive off without them. Who is this? Then the guy tells him, he says, I told them to kill you after they put the money in the trunk, so you better go. So at this point, we don't even know if this is true or real. And if he leaves them or not, that's left up to you guys to see. But from that point on, everything gets hectic. Because the other thing that was sideways about the night was that he didn't even get a drop-off. Usually he gets a call from one of his handlers called Clay. Clay always tells him where the drop-off is. He never told him where the drop-off is. So now, number one, you start off the night with a black car and a red trunk. Then you are picking up two guys that don't seem like the usual people that you work with. Then you don't get a drop off. Then you get a guy who's telling you to leave the guys that you're working with because they're going to shoot you in the head. So something is amiss here. Now, with all this stuff happening, he's also fighting with his daughter, who's 13 years old, who has a boyfriend and keeps taking him to the house, which she is by herself in, which her father is supposed to be there with her in order to maintain partial custody of her. And her ex-wife finds out. She calls him. So not only is he having arguments over the phone with his daughter, with his ex-wife, hell, even the boyfriend of his daughter. I'm just saying, Jeremy Rush, who wrote this movie, is basically trying to keep it as real life as possible. There's no major Hollywood stunts here. There's a lot of good driving, but no major Hollywood stunts. There's a lot of gun shooting, but this is all in the realm of what could happen if this happened to you. Everything, every outcome, everything that's leading out to the outcome, especially the words that are spoken between characters. It's like something that you would really say to people if you were in that situation. You wouldn't come out and start spewing an Oscar-winning sentence, out of nowhere. That's what I love about this movie. It's well grounded, especially with the camera angles, how the camera in different dimensions of the car stay in the car for the majority of the movie. But when you go to a location, whether the wheelman is picking someone up or he's forcing somebody out, the camera stays in the car as if the camera is a passenger or a watcher. Like, kind of like Jeremy Rush trying to say that there's somebody watching over him. I don't know. I'm just speculating on that. But, when I watch it more and more, I'll probably figure out why the director decided to keep the camera at a fixed angle inside the car. So yeah, I like the claustrophobicness of this movie. It's very hard to make a movie in one setting through the majority of the movie and make it effective because you have to make the audience believe that there is something out there other than the inside of the car. The car is the major setting, but what you see from inside the car to outside the car, that's what makes it more effective. So when they came to action scenes from the angle in the car to the fighting or whatever happens outside of the car, that takes genius. That takes a lot of genius when it comes to cinematography. For Wheelman's fanboy grade, I'm going to give it a B-. The reason why I gave it a B- for fanboy is because I would have loved to have seen other characters develop more. They were, to me, my opinion, they were used as just side props. The way they were used, they didn't really mean anything. That's just to me. That was just my fanboy side of it. I wanted more. Simple as that. It's just, I have to fight against what the movie is. Justice grade, I'm giving it an A-. The reason why I'm giving it an A- is because it's extremely effective. The dialogue is real. The angles are great. The claustrophobicness and the enclosedness of the car is spot on. All the actors did amazing. Everything was spot on. Just the thing, like I said, going back to the fanboy reason, the characters weren't developed too much. So that's why I gave it an A- instead of A+ for the Justice, because if they took the time to develop more characters, which the movie is only an hour and 24 minutes. If a movie is too short, sometimes I get a little skeptic on, the difference between the fanboy grades and the Justice grades. All right, guys, that's my review on Wheelman. Hope you guys like that. Hope you guys return for more. I have more reviews on the channel. Some of them are very old movies. Some of them are current movies coming out. I'll shuffle between the two. But thanks again for watching, and hope to see you guys again. Stay enthusiastic.